Hi everybody, it's Coach Kimmie, and I'm here today to talk to you about how you can use Garmin Connect to set up a workout which is especially great for your Speedwork days. The first step is you do have to be logged into your Garmin account page. When you are logged in, you're going to come over to the menu on the left side, go down to where it says training, click there to expand, and then go to where it says workouts and click on that. Afterwards, you are going to see something that probably looks a lot different from this. Yours may likely not have any workout set up, so you are going to first select your workout type, which would be run, and then click where it says create a workout. From here, my advice is to name it first. So I always like to edit this part and to name it something that is going to have meaning as to what type of workout it is. So I might say that this is going to be my 12 by 400s. And then I will click, and then after this, you can begin modifying. So my advice is to keep this section where you always have a warm-up. You can set the warm-up if you want to be a certain distance. For this part, duration, I have it set to be for the lap button, meaning it does not matter if you do a half a mile, 3/4 of a mile and a tenth. Whenever you push that lap button, which is on the lower right, if you have a Garmin 245 like I do, and that will then go from this warm up into the next section. However, you can also change this so that it is not for the lap press, and if you want to go by distance, you can set it so that it will have 1 mile, and then you can say done. That way, as soon as you hit a mile, it is going to tell you now you are entering your speed work. So at this point, what we're going to do is let's add in a repeat. And here's why. We can edit this to actually be gone. So I'm going to click to delete that. And then notice that by default, it has this at 2 times, but we are doing 12 of these 400-meter repeats. So I am going to change this to now say that I am doing it 12 times. I do not want to keep this at 1 mile, so I am going to click here to edit it. I still want it on distance, but what I'm going to do is change it to meters, and I am going to change this to 400 meters. Notice you can also set it if you were doing kilometers. So if you're doing thousands, you can set it to be a 1K, or you could set it to be 1,000 meters, totally up to you. Now here's another part that I do recommend, the intensity. You may have a particular pace range that you want. And if so, you can set that in here so that your watch will beep if you are too fast or too slow. So for example, let's say that our pace range is going to be somewhere between 7:30 and maybe 8 minutes per mile. We can set it like that. If you are going faster, you might say that these 400s should be between a 6-minute mile and maybe a 6:45. If you are targeting a pace that is going to be maybe between 9 and 9:30 minutes per mile, whatever it is, you can set this up. But remember, your 400s should be at a pretty good pace, probably 5K pace for you or a little quicker than that. So let's modify this to be between maybe 6:30 and 7:30 minutes per mile. So clicking done now has that there. And for the recovery, this is where you will walk. This is where you are going to bring that heart rate down. So you definitely want to click to edit this. And you can leave it as a recovery type, but the duration should be time-based. So this will be something where you are setting it up for a very certain amount of time-based recovery. So if you were going to set it for 60 seconds of recovery, what we could do is select that we are just going to do 1 minute. If you were doing recovery at a minute and a half, you would put in 1 and 30. If you were doing shorter recovery, maybe 45 seconds, 0 for the minutes, 45 for the seconds. And this part, I don't think you should have any intensity target type, so leave that alone and click done. So notice this is going to be repeated 12 times. Your 400 meters followed by a minute of recovery, and it will just keep beeping to let you know, run, recover, run, recover. It is fantastic. And then last but not least, the cool down. This again, you can set it for a particular distance. So if you did, you could select that you want this to not be the lap button. You can go distance, and I think most times a 1 mile or a mile and a half is great. And there is no reason to set this intensity target. But if you are worried that you are going to go too fast, because remember, your recovery should be nice and slow. Maybe you want to set it so that it is telling you, hey, do not go faster than a certain point. And even this slower. I mean, you definitely don't need to walk during your cool down, but maybe you want to give yourself a very nice, generous, slow and sexy pace. So this is a-okay, but I think having this target just so you are not tempted to go fast, because coming out of Speedwork, it may feel hard to slow down. So this will definitely help you. And then you can click done. Now that this is all set up where you have your warm-up, your speed work, and your cool down, you can click Save Workout. Now this is just part of what you are doing. It is also handy to add it to the calendar. So let's say, for example, this was going to be your speed work for tomorrow. You can click that you are setting it up for the 6th. And then also I recommend that you click Send to Device. That way you can select what watch it is, if you have multiple ones. If not, you hopefully only see your main watch on there. And then Send to Device. Make sure you sync your watch, and then on the date that you have selected this, it will prompt you when you get your watch going. It'll say, do you want to do this workout? And that is your time to say yep, so that you can activate it. If you don't add it to your calendar, you're still able to find your workout because it will be there. You just need to go into some of your menu settings. But I have found that the best way to do it is a combination of adding it to the calendar, selecting the day when you're going to do it, and then sending it to your device. The best part is once you have set these up, you are going to be able to then come back and duplicate them. So if later on you need to do another one, so let's say that I am going to set this to be sorted, hopefully by when it was created. All right, so here's the one that I just created, and then you can always modify this. So if you want to do this, but you're not going to do 400s, you can open up the workout, click duplicate, and then make your changes. So maybe this isn't going to be 400s. Maybe you are going to do instead maybe 800s. And then what you would want to do is come back here, obviously modify this part because you are not doing it. So we're going to edit the workout. You're not doing it 12 times. You are doing it 8 times. And then, of course, this is not 400 meters, this is going to be 800 meters. And half-mile repeats are going to be slower than your 400s. So perhaps you would say that your pace would be a little slower, so let's say between maybe 7 and 8 minutes per mile, or whatever your particular speed workout is going to be, and then click done. And then of course you might want to modify that cool down, especially if you did set a pace. You can say that this would be more in the 9 to 10 minute range, for example, and then you can save that. So if this workout, for example, was going to be something that you were doing, but maybe you were going to be doing it later on, you can still set it up so that now when you come back to your list of your workouts, and of course let's sort this, we have this part here, and when you come over to the right side you can click add to calendar, and maybe that's going to be the workout that you do the following week. So you can absolutely set that up. I hope this tutorial was easy and that you are motivated to use this fabulous feature of your watch to help you do a great job staying on track with your training. If you have any questions, let us know.